Everybody, Dan Illman taking a look at the middle pick four sequence at Laurel on Saturday. It is an all-stakes sequence beginning with race number 5, and let's throw up the field for the first leg of this pick four. 2-year-olds going a mile and a 16th on the turf for the $200,000 Laurel Futurity. And in this video, I'll give you some horses that I'm going to consider using in the pick four. I would urge all of you to use the ticket maker application on DRF Bets. DRF.com, weigh your opinions using Steve Christ's formulas by separating contenders into A's, B's, and C's. As of right now in the Laurel Futurity, I'm considering using 2 horses as A's and 1 as a backup. Field Pass is very logical. I can't let this horse knock me out of the pick four early. He's 2-1 on the morning line. He beat Decorated Invader in a maiden race at Saratoga. That horse won the Grade 1 Summer Stakes last week at Woodbine, one of the better 2-year-old turf horses in the country. Last time out, Field Pass just couldn't get to Fighting CB, a horse that had everything his own way on the lead. This is just a very consistent son of Lemon Drop kid, and if you give him a fair pace to attack, he's going to come running late. He'll be an A, along with the number 7, Doc Boy, who's 2 for 2 lifetime on the turf for trainer Michael Stidham. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a class test for him. I know he won a stakes race last time out at Colonial Downs, maybe not the strongest field in the world. This horse is not great out of the gate, so it is imperative for his jockey, Fergal Lynch, to get out of there and get position, because I'm not sure there's a lot of speed in this race, not a ton at all, and Mischievous Alex, the 9, might end up being the speed, and that's why I would use this horse as a deep backup. Trainer John Service does not have good numbers moving horses from dirt to turf, but this colt has speed, has run very, very well in his career on the dirt, is less than a length away from being a perfect 3 for 3 in his career. And I think Trevor McCarthy can just break from the outside post and make the lead with Mischievous Alex. If they leave him alone, maybe he can make them pay. I think he drifts a little bit off that 6-1 morning line. So my A is in leg A of the middle pick four on Saturday. 4 and 7, and I'd use the 9 as a backup. Not sure yet if I'll use him as a B or a C. Race number 6 at Laurel is the second leg of this middle pick four, and it's the $150,000 Bald Eagle Derby. 3-year-olds going a mile and a half. I want to use 3 horses in equal weight. I'm very interested in the 2, Hannah Lay's Houdini, 10-1 on the morning line. He is stretching way out in distance. He has never been further than a mile and a 16th in his career. That was the race 3 starts back. And if you go back and watch a replay of that race, you're going to see that this horse, I really believe, is crying out for more ground. He was outpaced on the far turn, hard-ridden, and he just kept grinding and grinding and grinding, and he got there at the end of that race and galloped out like he wanted more. I think he's going to appreciate a mile and a half, and I think stretching out in distance, he can be a little bit closer to the pace. The 4, Jace's Solitude, is very, very dangerous. This horse was gelded over that little vacation he had, that layoff line preceding his win 2 starts back. I loved the way he won that race at Arlington Park, 2 back. Inside in the early portion of the race, bumped a bit when trying to get out, swung 4 wide into the stretch, and just ran him down. And last time out in the Virginia Derby, there was a glacial pace in front of him. He just had no chance to rally into those fractions, and he still was firing late to get beat only ahead. He is in razor-sharp form. Got to prove it at the elongated distance of a mile and a half. But I think this horse has a lot of upside potential. And then your morning line favorite, the 7, He's No Lemon, from a Beyer speed figure standpoint, this horse, is very dangerous. He has earned 90s in his last 2 races. He was beaten by a stakes caliber horse in Pillar Mountain 2 starts back. He got the job done last time out at Saratoga. Not sure I love this 2-month layoff, but he is just a very logical horse in this race, and I don't want him knocking me out of any pick 4 wagers. 2, 4, and 7 I would use in the Bald Eagle Derby. Now we go to the Baltimore-Washington International Turf Cup. It's race number 7, the third leg of this pick 4. Also kicks off the pick 6. We already have our expanded stakes preview up on DRF.com, video.drf.com, and of course the DRF YouTube channel. You can check out the expanded horse-by-horse analysis there. Here for a pick 4 standpoint, I want to use the 7 Caribou Club, who I think would benefit from a fast pace. The 5 McKagan, the 8 Glorious Empire has speed. I like the way Caribou Club won the West Virginia Speakers Cup last time out. I think this distance is within his scope. This is his 3rd start back since returning from Dubai, and I think Tom Proctor's got this horse ready to go. If he gets some pace, he can run these horses down. And of the speeds, Glorious Empire's the class of the speed. Maybe he wants a little bit more ground. He really got good last summer for trainer James Lawrence, winning the Sword Dancer at a longer distance. After he won the Fort Lauderdale last time out, they wanted to run him in the Pegasus World Cup turf. He strained a suspensory. He had a lot of time off. Maybe he needs this race. But if he comes back to his best form and doesn't need a race and he's ready to fire, he's going to be very, very tough. So I'll be leaning on the 7 and the 8 in this race in my pick fours. And the anchor leg is your main event, the Grade 3 Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash. It is race number 8 with an approximate post time of 4 p.m. Eastern. And in this race, I want to concentrate most on the 6. He Hate Me. He Hate Me is coming out of a race at Saratoga where he was beaten by Bone Ray's Own, but you could argue that He Hate Me was the best horse in the field. There was a multiple horse pace skirmish in the early portion of the race. He Hate Me was battling it out among those horses. He put every one of the pace horses away. He just couldn't hold off Bone Ray's Own, who was sitting in the back relaxing while those pace horses battled themselves into the ground. I think it's a better pace scenario for He Hate Me this time around. He draws just to the outside of a fast horse in Spartacle, and I think he can hitch up to that horse entering the far turn and should be very prominently placed turning into the stretch. He Hate Me would be my main sort of lean in the Frank J. DeFrancis dash. I'd also use Killy Beggs Captain, a horse that just fits well at this level. He's been running against the likes of Matoli and Promises Fulfilled. He actually beat Imperial Hint earlier this year at Tampa Bay Downs. And while he didn't run well at Saratoga when beaten by Bone Ray's Own 2-back, look over his lifetime form in your formulator past performances. I don't think he likes Saratoga. This could be a nice situation for Killy Beggs Captain, dropping in class. If you wanted to use a long shot, Spartacle could be the speed of the speed. He is taking a big step up. If I was going to use him, I'd use him as a C. But He Hate Me is my lean in the DeFrancis. I'm also going to use Killy Beggs Captain. Nice card at Laurel on Saturday. This middle pick 4, races 5 through 8, all stakes races, 2 of them graded. Best of luck.